Come on, hit it, yeah. The champ is on the mic. Struggles ongoing, but I know the battle is the Lord's. Though tears are overflowing, yet my faith remains. In hope I'm pressing onward. No matter what I face, I rise. His spirit leads me on all the way. Lord, I pray, help me say every day that I wake, I will praise you. Every breath that I take, Lord, I will praise you. My daily motion, I'm moving forward. My daily motion, I'm going higher. My daily motion, I'm moving forward. My daily motion, I'm going higher. Struggles are going, but I know the battle is the Lord's. Though tears are overflowing, yet my faith remains. In hope I'm pressing onward. No matter what I face, I rise. His spirit leads me on all the way. Lord, I pray, help me say every day I'm alive, I will praise you. Every way while I can, I will praise you. My daily motion, I'm moving forward. My daily motion, I'm going higher. My daily motion, I'm moving forward. My daily motion, I'm going higher. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
Are you ready? Are you with me? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's go. I owe my life to you. I rest upon your word.
That's right.
Your joy alone, my strength. I'm right on track. In you I have my peace, the rock that never fails. I pour my love on you. I know you're in control. I'm singing and dancing and praising, moving, 'cause my Lord is good. Rejoicing, progressing. I'm shouting, God is good. Hey, I'm standing under the rock. Hey, I know my God's in control. I hail, 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 I hail. I talk to the Lord, I walk with the Lord. I stand by the word of the Lamb of God. I talk to the Lord, I walk with the Lord. I stand by the word of the Lamb of God. This is my daily motion. It's guidance gives me higher. This is my daily motion. It's guidance gives me forward. This is my daily motion. It's guidance gives me higher. My daily motion. I'm moving forward. My daily motion. I'm going higher. My daily motion. I'm moving forward. My daily motion. I'm going higher. My daily motion. I'm moving forward. My daily motion. I am going higher. My daily motion. I'm moving forward. My daily motion. I'm going higher.
Hello, Daily Motion family. Are you here? Can you hear me? Is my sound on? Hello, Twe. Hello, is it me you're looking for? Can you hear what I am saying? Good morning, DM fam. Hi, I am Olayemi and Oluseyi Odushola at the same time. Good morning. Hi, I am Dr. Champion. This is the Daily Motion Haven of Love, and it is where we come together as people of faith and we talk about real issues without the facade and without the judgment. It is so nice to be here in the morning. I'm telling you, this morning stuff might work. It just might work. We might just have to switch things around a little bit because this morning stuff is working for me. Saturday evening, people are going to Owambe's, they're hanging out with their family members and all that kind of stuff, and there's no more COVID. I remember that when we started this cast, COVID was around, so nobody was going anywhere, and we were able to engage together and not go crazy on Saturday evenings. But that's not the case anymore, and production takes a lot of work, which I enjoy thoroughly. So we might be thinking about other things to do with this. I enjoy this morning stuff. I'm fresh. I've slept. I snore when I'm tired, so sometimes I wake up not refreshed, but today I woke up refreshed. How did you wake up? Let me say a few shout outs. We got lots of ground to cover today, and I want us to have a good, solid conversation. So I am not going to stop in the middle to say too much. I don't know the English word for itakurasal. Itakurasal is like little jives and vibes in the middle of my cast. So I'm going to say all my shout outs. Abisola Takurasal. Abisola Bajoko is here. Hi, Rainbow here. Yes, hi. The one part of Wallops. Yes, not you dancing in your room to this bop, your daily motion. Yeah, you are moving forward. Yeah, that's you. Hi, Aya. Hi, how are you? You're very welcome. Thank you so much. Thanks for doing the sound check for me. Hi, Daddy Theo. Daddy Theo is here. Good morning. Thank you so much. Hi, Mama. My mama's in the house. Hi, Mama for me. Hi, Mama Ranky. Hi. My grandbaby didn't let you sleep. What is the job that you people are doing that you want to be sleeping? We have paid for your sleep. We have paid. Your sleep is covered in the blood of Jesus. We have paid for it. You're not going to be sleeping for a long time. And when his sisters come, 2 of them at the same time, you better enjoy this sleeplessness because it is even going to be more. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All right. Thank you so much for being here, DM fam. At 11 o'clock, before you go to your Owambe, today we're talking about some real good stuff. And I really love this topic. You know, I'm a fan of all stuff relationships because I have learned very, very, good and hard relational lessons just by virtue of being born into a family of a lot of people. I'm child number 13. So whether I liked it or not, I was going to be a relational human being. I didn't have a way to escape it. And I happen to be a relational human being. I have a lot of friends and sisters, and I've managed to be able to do life with a lot of people. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the privilege that I'm able to share that. I do life with my patients. And so God has just put me in a world of doing life with people. So relational issues are very, very important to me. And I have this thing that I have my own thoughts about, and I'm going to say those things for about 4 minutes, and then we're going to get our guests in the room so that we can have a very crisp conversation. I want the conversation to be quite crisp. When we talk about relationships and, whether they're friendships, whether they're familial relationships, sisterhoods or brotherhoods, whether they're parental relationships, sometimes we refer to those relationships as whether they failed or not, and for some reason I cannot get myself to come to a place to say relationships failed. I always say that the relationships were successful until the moment that they ended. And the reason I say that is because I know that it takes all of the energy in the world to keep relationships working. So when people have put all their lives into a relationship and then it ends up not continuing, I know that they have tried. I know that all those days, whether they were weeks or years or decades, nobody lives for centuries. Well, they do. Some people live for centuries, and if it is a parent and a child relationship, they were not alive for that long. If it is a husband and wife relationship, they were not alive for 100 years. But so let's stop at decades. whatever amount of work they put in during those years that that relationship lasted, whether it was 1 week or 50 years, that relationship was successful until it ended. And the word failure is one of the battles that people battle with a lot when relationship ends. And they sum it up as, even as a human failing. That human being, she failed at raising her child. She failed at her marriage. She failed at her job. But even in that job, there were days that she was successful. If she got fired because she worked hard, kept that job for as long as she could, succeeded those times, and then ended up that the success ended. So I'm gonna ask you to chime in on that, because I think it can alleviate the burden that people bear when their relationships don't continue. There is no one, absolutely no one, I think, that can say they have earned the degree or they have earned the qualifications to talk about relationships, because everyone is growing in relationships every day. Everyone. No one that is going to be on this cast has the qualifications to talk about relationships, because we figured it out. And we are all still on the learning process. So this is a conversation for you to bring what you have and for me to bring what I have, so that we can generationally thrive in our relationships. And it's now 11:15, and as I promised, I'm going to bring my guests into the room so that they can talk more than I do. We're gonna have introductions, but I will also introduce one of our guests she'll introduce herself in her own capacity, but I will introduce her in the capacity that she'll be helping us discuss relationships today. So please, emojis, otherwise there's no daily motion. Emojis, please send your emojis as we bring our guests into the room today. And I'll tell you the miracle of how this happened. It was just a God call, and we answered. It was a God call. And I think this God call actually is less than 24 hours old. Yeah. So you should celebrate them a lot extra. All right. Without further ado, here are our panelists for today. A round of applause. Hello! Please let us see your facial. Don't hide it with your hand. Don't be shy. Don't hide your facial. You are very welcome, and I want to thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being here. A lot of people came here willingly, except one person. I'll let you guess who didn't come here willingly. I'll let you guess who didn't come here willingly. But when I started talking about this yesterday, and I was in conversation with my sister, and we just started talking, and God was talking, and I said, you know what? We're gonna do this. Let's do it. And God gave direction, and we're here. That's the short of it. But one thing I said, Precious is very shy. Let me see how I can rope him into this. And when I told him, I said, so I have this idea that I want to do this, and no. He said, I said, are you listening to me? And I want you to help me with it. I went out, I came back at night. He said, I saw the... No, he texted me while I was in the theater when he saw the video. After I gave him the whole spiel. He said, yeah, me, I don't think I'll be able to do this thing, no. I said, what do you mean you don't think you'll be able to do this thing? I said, this thing that I already explained to you that you are going to do. He said, no, more pay you my help set up. He said, I don't know what I'm going to say. I said, are you not in a relationship? What do you mean you don't know what you're going to say? Anyway, I will leave you to guess who was not in this cast willingly. One of the four of us. Anyway, like I was saying, no one has received the qualifications to talk about relationships and how they're designed and what you should do or should not do. But I'll start with an example, and then I'll let you meet our guests. We're all works in progress, but most of all, we are all broken trees. I am very fond of Rick Warren. I don't know most of his intimate life details too much, but I love his content. I've shared several times that I read Purpose Driven Life every year during my fast. And every year I read it, it's new to me. I read a lot of his other books. But I was able to share in one of his interviews that he did after he lost his son to suicide. He lost a son to suicide. And he was interviewed. The son had struggled with mental health issues, depression for a long time. And they had struggled, gave him medication, they sought the best help, therapy, all of it. He did the whole 9 yards. But he ended up losing that child in his own home. So he was sharing that, the letters that he received letters from leaders of nations and all of that. He said, but the letters that meant most to him were the ones that came from people who his son had ministered to. And he administered to them on a suicide, sort of like a group hotline, and persuaded them not to commit suicide. So they were alive because of his son. However, his son ended up committing suicide. So he said this, he said, your greatest ministry will come out of your deepest pain. And he said the fact that his son suffered the same thing did not mean that he could not minister in the same capacity. It actually gave him more, and I'm going to say more one more time. It gave him more credibility to speak in that capacity. So, in God's garden of grace, even broken trees bear fruit. And we are all broken. In God's garden of grace, even broken trees bear fruit. And we are all broken. Especially when it comes to relationships, we're all broken. So no matter what you have been through, if you have actually been through a rough time with relationships, you may want to search, because really your greatest ministry comes out of your deepest pain. I will stop talking for a while and allow our guests to introduce themselves to us. I will start from the top. Ladies first. Ladies always first. Ladies always first. Dr. DTO is in the house today, so I will start from Dr. DTO. Dr. DTO, please introduce yourself to the Daily Motion family members today as we chat about relationships. And she's so humble. So humble. Look at her name. They wrote Damola. Damola. Period. Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, good morning. My name is Damola. We'll say people don't say my name is Damola. I'm Damola Treasure Okenla. I'm a child of God and I love helping people.
That's it. Your introduction is so short. This is Daily Motion. You have to tell us what do you enjoy doing? Who do you like? Who do you not like? No, don't tell us that. What do you enjoy doing? And your pet peeve. Let's just get to know you a little bit.
Like I said, my passion, I am passionate about God and anything that is God. So loving, helping people, especially to overcome the things I've overcome. I don't want people to, I said because I made a mistake. I would say that I failed in a relationship and promised myself, not any girl under my watch will make that same mistake again. And that is what led me into the things I do when it comes to counseling. I want to counsel people not by just my experience, but also in God's way and with knowledge.
Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. Go ahead, Brother Daniel, my brother Daniel, better known as Deacon Daniel. Please introduce yourself to the Daily Motion family.
Hello, Daily Motion family. My name is Daniel. Um, Married 24 years, 25 years to Deborah. She's not here today. With 3 children. I I try to be a disciple of Christ. I don't like saying the word Christian. My pet peeve is people talking in absolutes. God never does this. God will. Those are my pet peeves. So I'm done.
I love that. I'm the only talkative on this panel, as we can see.
And I'm number. You are number 13. I'm number 6.
You're number 6. Oh yeah, so you're also from a relation
You
now.
said you are child number 13.
Yes,
I'm number 6.
I'm child number 13 out of 16 that we know. You have to put that caveat. Out of the 16 that we know. Daddy has said that when he goes, some people will show up.
That's right.
I don't know if anybody has shown up yet, but we are still waiting. They might still show up. I want to say a beautiful shout out to Ronki.
Out of
Ronki
the
is here.
official 16.
Out of the official 16, that all of us are official. All of us, we just don't know them. Anybody that comes out is official. Aderonki, I'm glad you're able to join us in broad daylight and not broad day night from the UK. Thank you so much for being here. Dr. Gua is here. Hi, how are you in this broad day night and not night? Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. Oh, Uncle Sheeta's in the house. I'm looking cute with this my Baba Salah glasses. That's me. It's me. Thank you so much for being here. Mommy Margaret is in the house. Hi, how are you? And Ayo echoes broken crayon still color. Hey! Hi, sis Janet Ojumi. You are welcome to the Daily Motion family. Thank you so much for joining us and joining your voice with ours. Now, let us introduce the most important person in the world. He's going to introduce himself to the Daily Motion family. Go ahead, Precious, and introduce yourself to the Daily Motion family.
Hello, Daily Motion family. I'm so glad to be here. I don't think I need to introduce myself again. Olayemi has done that. And but I'll still go ahead and introduce myself to you guys. My name is Oluseyi Odushola. I'm married to one troublesome lady. Her name is Olayemi. This is an revenge for what she did to me.
You're not going home tonight.
You are lucky you are married to one troublesome lady and not two.
Yes. My passion, what I'd like to do, I like playing on the piano or write lyrics. And I love God, and God loves me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. I also want to introduce one of our speakers in the capacity at which she will be speaking today, so that we can get all the resources and we can get further help for whatever is needed when we leave this cast. Dr. Damola Treasure Okinla, she's a faith-based transformational life and mental health coach. She's a counselor. She's an award-winning author. She's a speaker. She's a trainer. She's a serial entrepreneur, a prophetic intercessor, and most importantly, the treasure of the Most High God. That's beautiful. She completed her doctorate in mental health counseling, focusing on marital dysfunction. For 15 years, she has counseled married women and divorcees, helping them to navigate and recover from the impact of their marital trauma on their mental health. And through this depth of experience and her PhD research, she has built a proprietary framework for these women from feeling defeated, depressed, dejected, and she has found a way to transform through the help of God to a restored, renewed, and ready to embrace a new beginning life for this women. She helps women of faith in business and ministry to transform themselves mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, to live by godly potentials and repurpose their pain and possibilities for power and for profit. She's here to serve. So please, I just want to celebrate her. She has been on this platform before, but when she came on this platform before, she was DTO. This is the first time that she is back as Dr. DTO. So a round of applause for Dr. DTO. Please just celebrate ours. Thank you so much. We celebrate ours. We celebrate you. And this is just for the testament to God using our area of pain as our ministry. So we're going to start talking today, and I want us to talk about all aspects of ministry. And if I'm not stopping too much to misjive today, it's because I want us to have a real conversation. But we will still have fun because I mean, you understand what I'm trying to say. All things are okay. God is with us. It's what I'm trying to say. Uncle P! You don't understand what I'm saying. I will be translating. My translations are even deadlier than the foreign language I'm speaking. Uncle P is here. And people are saying hello to you. Welcome, Deacon Daniel. Welcome, Manshei. Welcome, Dr. DTO. Hi, Takumba. How are you? Hi everyone. So I'm going to stop less because hi Miss Peace Eversher. Good morning and a good day to you, and thank you so much for joining your voice with ours today. Thank you. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Thank you for being here. All right, conversation begins. I wanted to ask, we've all, and I'm asking the audience as I ask our panelists today, when you first started your relationships or got into a relationship ever, we had ideals, or as young people we wanted to get married, and they asked you, well, who is your ideal partner, and now you have been through relationships and you have been through a marriage. Has that definition of your ideal partner, has it changed over the years? Just share briefly on that. I am going to, since I cheated and I started with the introduction with females, I'm going to start with the guys. Deacon Daniel, can you, I don't know why I'm calling you Deacon Daniel all of a sudden, because I hardly ever call you that, but that's what I'm going to call you. Can you share
You
with
call
that?
me Brother Daniel. I don't know why you call me.
I don't know why. I don't know. It's just a natural switch. I don't know why. Yes. So can you tell us, as your definition
You are
of...
trying to be official.
I'm trying. I'm really trying. You can tell. Even this English. Has your definition of the ideal partner, what you were looking for in a person that you were going to marry, has that changed now that you've experienced marriage, the way it has unfolded, both your marriage and other people's marriages?
I was one among my group friends. I probably was one of the last to get married, and so during my search, I encountered somebody who was very wise, and he told me, just look for your friend. You're looking, you have too many ideals. Just look for someone you can talk to, someone who you can have a conversation with. And that was my ideal going into marriage, and it hasn't changed. Just look for someone you can have a conversation with. Deborah and I can be at home alone most weekends, not going anywhere, and we'll always find something to say, something to do. So you need a friend, someone who can understand you. Just looking at you can understand your emotions, can know, you know what, I need to give this person some space. This person is really crabby right now. This person is, you just need a friend that can understand you, and when you need to be kicked in the butt, you need a friend that can kick you in the butt too. So my ideal of marriage has always been, and relationships, is just to look for a friend.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Precious, go ahead, and has your ideal what you were looking for, has that changed since you have experienced marriage and other people's marriages?
Yes, it changed. Even though I was looking forward to so many things, but along the way, by getting married, I found that there is no perfect relationship. So my ideal did change.
I like that. I like that. That's actually quite deep. There are, I think that, I think that, when I remember all the singles seminars that I personally went to, when they used to tell us to write a list of what we wanted. We used to write 10 things or something like that. Does anybody remember that? I don't even know. Yeah, we used to write all those 10 ththings. And if I wish I could find
That
any
was
of them.
traumatic.
That was traumatic. What were we doing? Go. But anyway, I wish I found one of those lists now, but I don't have any. Maybe I didn't even write. Who knows? That's funny. I'm gonna go ahead and ask DTO. Having been through a relationship, multiple relationships, and counseled and coached people through different relationships, looking back at your young self, has your ideal partner, ideal marriage, ideal spouse, has it changed for you?
I think so. I think it depends on the age and the face. If I were to marry at 20, probably I didn't have anything thinking. Maybe I would have just entered, uh, probably in, what you call in love, that was not really love. But as I was moving towards later years, I think it was becoming for a purpose. But yeah, that I had a purpose. I believe that in my early years as a Christian, I knew what God wanted me to do, and I started looking for someone that could fit into that. Then, anyway, I missed it, and now at my age, I don't think it has changed. I don't. I will tell you, like, I'm blank. I believe when the person comes, I will know this is the person, but nothing. I don't think my destiny is tied to, or my purpose is tied to any man. I believe that when the person comes, I will know. So I believe it changes with age. It changes with phase that you may be in life.
I love it. Thank you so much. That's wonderful. Because I want to talk as a panel member, I remember that my ideal has changed a lot. When I was a child, Uncle P was look, Uncle P, you need to be offering your condolences a lot to Precious. Uncle P is offering his condolences to you, Precious. He says, Marsha, I feel for you. Please continue to offer him your condolences. He needs it. And Wale is up man sitting you, Uncle D. When I was young, and talking about the person that did not want to be on this cast, when I eventually got home yesterday, I said, Precious, what do you mean about this text you sent me? You didn't know you were going to be on it. I said, I thought I was going to help you set up. I said, set up what? I told you I need you to help me to be on the cast. I said, this thing is God that told me to do it. And he told me this morning. And I, immediately I sent Bros Daniel a text. And look, and he answered me. He said, it was too hilarious. He said, if you call him, if you wake him up, he's ready to talk. Me, I have to process everything I want to say. And yeah, that's what he said. But it's so funny that when I was very young, when I was still a child, if you asked me what was the first attribute I was looking for in a guy, I would tell you I wanted somebody who could speak while they were sleeping. It used to just floor me when people were very fluent and expressive, and if they even now speak English that is like, carry me, tell me, throw me away. So when I was maybe like in high school, when I grew up and was ready to marry, if you asked me, who do you want to marry? I always said, I want to marry a good person, somebody with a good heart. So for me, my ideal did change even before I got married. Of course, my ideals have gradually changed now with marriage, but I still maintain, and that was the only line I would tell you when you were asking me if who I wanted to get married. I want to get married to a good person, and till Tony good heart, and not because Precious is here, but Precious has a good heart. I'm a very troublesome person, but Precious has a good heart. So it doesn't mean we don't fight. We fight all the time. But he has a good heart, so that even when he goes off, he's the kind of person that would come back and go and think about it. He won't just say, you know. So for that reason, my ideal, over the years have changed. I have modified some things, and some things have remained the same. But that one sentence, I want to marry somebody with a good heart, remains the same. Thank you so much. DM fam, please add to this. Has your ideal partner definition changed? And I saw that Miss Ronki answered us. Oh, I love this. Tokumbo is fighting for her grandpa. Your grandpa even used his own mouth to say he cannot talk. You are fighting for your grandpa. This is how people. I like to say, no, there's no need. This is daily motion. Let's pack it like it is. Anyway, let's get into the conversation. Oh my God, Bimbo, you're here. Hi, Bimbo. Stick Duado. How are you, baby? All right. Hey, Adogo. Adogo is here. My namesake. How are you? You're welcome. Takumba says perfect marriage is only in a movie. Love is blind, but marriage will open it. Ronki says my idea and my ideal changed with age, similar to Dr. DTO. PI says, and I will not flash this because it's long. I love it. Writing the list was not wrong. It helped people, especially young ones, to come down to earth and be deliberate about what they wanted from a partner. The next step in that exercise was to recognize your deal breakers and non-negotiables, which were usually 2 or 3. That exercise helped a lot of youths that I mentored. Thank you so much for that. But I think on that list, where I used to have 6 foot, dark, tall and handsome. We used to have all those things on that list at that time. So those ones I still say are useless. The time you used to write that part is a useless time wasted. You should have said, don't worry about character, don't worry about figure 8, because my own figure 8 now has become figure 32. So, but I understand that. Very well said, PI. PI said that's hilarious. No, sometimes in relationships, you realize you are wrong, but you're just like, well, we've already started this train, let's just keep it going. We do that, a lot. So it takes God, touching people's hearts to not just be able to go back and say, I think I fumbled, let me just go and fix things. Demi Sims says, mine did not change. I knew what I wanted, but I learned a lot during marriage. Experiences are the best things that I learned from. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to go to the next question. The next question is, as a younger person, we define love, and we already started talking about it. Tokumbo mentioned, something about, the type of love that we used to define, the way we used to define love. She sort of alluded to that. Love is blind, but marriage will open it. Now, has your definition of love, the way you used to define love, has that changed? Do you still believe in the type of love we grew up to desire? Having been through several relationships and marriage, do you still desire that type of the giz love? When I don't see you, I can't sleep. I have to share this quick story. Anytime they are singing one song in the television or radio. He say, I'll die without you. I will say that's a lie. That's nonsense. That's rubbish. Monife will say, Mommy, don't say that. Let's just enjoy, let's just enjoy. I say, my dear, it's a lie. Nobody is going to die. She said, I know, but let us just enjoy it. Let's just be children. So has your definition of love, has that changed over the years? I'll start with, let me start with DTU.
I don't know, because I was thinking last week that is it love that comes first or commitment? And I said something like, is it love? It's like we say love, but do we understand love? And I found out that what we call love is mostly lust, not love. So then I was talking about commitment and love. What comes first? Some people will say if you are committed, you will love. Some says if you are in love, if you love someone, let me not say in love. If you love someone, you'll be committed. So I don't know. I really, honestly, I'm writing something about that. I'm studying that. That's just the truth. Because I really don't know. When people say they love you, I don't see the action. Love is an act, and I don't see that act. So we can say you love, but what is the action that you can use to buttress that love? I don't see it. So I mean, at the point that I'm in,
I love that.
So yeah,
I love that.
Maybe we need to define what is love.
Yeah.
That we say so much. What is love?
I love that. I love that. That is so honest and so true. I'm going to read one of the comments that was from the previous question, but it actually aligns with this question to a certain extent. We were talking about, your ideals. What was it? And Ronki said, it was much more of fantasies in our 20s, realities in our 30s, and desperations in our 40s. Reality sets in with marriage. In fact, it's as if you are in my notes, Miss Ronki. It's like I said my notes. Very, very good. I love that. Precious, has your definition of the giz type of marriage, has that changed? I mean, love, has it changed over the years, or do you still define love the same way you did when you were a youth? When you were a youth, that was a long time ago. Ǹjẹ́ o lè rántí báyìí?
Yeah, I will try. Yes, like when I was young, I used to say that I'm in love. But I think I don't really understand what love meant during those periods of times. But today, I could understand that love is just more than a partnership. It's just like a partnership. There are people that believe that love is something that was created by God, which I do believe, but I don't see it as a partnership. I don't, right now, it's so hard for me to believe that there's something being called love.
So you are not feeling giz as you are sitting there like this. You are not feeling giz about me. It's what you are saying.
I'm not saying that, but
help me pack my bag.
Right now, in what both of us are going through right now, I know when I first met you, I told you that I love you. But along the way, growing into this relationship, I could see that it's more than love. It's companion. You need a friend, somebody that will always be there, that you could trust and understand. So I don't see it as a good partnership.
I love it. I love that. That, we're looking for marriage with somebody we love. That love that we used to define. But as you got into the relationship, you found out is that it's not the emotion of the giz. It's more of a partnership through thick, through thin, no matter what is going on. Thanks. So it's partnership we are in now. In this our partnership, please, let us renegotiate the terms of the dowry. It's what after the. I want to go in the chats because there are such good things in this chat. In the chat. Wale said, PI used to help us in YASM come up with our list. You had to break it down to only 3 things on your list. 1 physical, 1 spiritual, and 1 mental. Thank you so much for that. Bimbo says, my ideals haven't changed, but some expectations did change with time. Thank you, Miss Ronki. In my 20s, I wanted handsome and rich. In my 30s, it was God-fearing and caring. You got closer to God as you got older. It's true. It's true. That's when reality starts to set in. Then suddenly, I wanted someone who could play a role of my brothers and parents and and stuff. And PI was saying, and not only reality in your 30s, but and resignation in your 50s and above. This was a good one. PI, you stop that. You stop that. I think more in your 50s, like now that I've waited for this long, it will be better for me not to go and now enter one pack. It will be much better for me. That is so hilarious. And in response to what you were saying about does love come first or does commitment come first, Dr. DTO, Mommy Margaret was saying, I think it's both. I think that was what she was referring to. And you had asked a question that I forget exactly how you phrased it. She said, I think it's both. Miss Ronki said, I suddenly realized that I was looking for some of the good qualities that even I didn't have. You wanted Jesus, yeah? You are looking for Jesus. Bimbola said, my sister Eroma said something to me recently that has stuck with me. Love is not what you say. It is what you do. And that echoes what Dr. DTU had said about love. Let us go to Dick and Daniel. How do you define love now? Now that you know more, how do you define love?
Well, let's go back. How did I define love when I was younger? It depends on the season. It could be acceptance. It could be attraction. It could be spending time with someone. It could be someone that it could be respect. But and I liked what sister just to echo what Pierre said. Yes, in the 50s, love is just acceptance. For me, love is now just commitment. Commitment. I believe that you have to be committed. Your word has to be your bond, even when things don't go right. Love is commitment. If I say I do, I have to. Even when it's not comfortable, even when it's not. It's easier said than done. Being in marriage for 25, going on 26 years, we've had our bumps and bruises along the road. Today, I believe that love is commitment. Love is commitment, and it's not endurance, because you can say I say commitment. You say, "Oh, are you just going to rough it out?" It's not endurance. It's commitment. It's commitment to work on it. It's commitment to stay loving. It's commitment to do what it takes to love someone, and it's not really what you expect in return. So you can love someone and the person not love you back in return. But love is commitment to stay in the course. That's my 2 cents.
Oh my God, that was deep. I like, especially that last part. I like that. You can love someone and that person not love you in return, yet that relationship continues because you are committed to that person and that relationship. And this brings me back to, if you were not here, first of all, thank you for everyone who's here on this cast at our unusual time, which might become our usual time. I said in the beginning that I do not agree, and it's just a personal opinion, when people say, oh, that relationship failed, oh, that marriage failed. I usually, it's just like, I don't agree with it. I usually like to say that that marriage was successful until it ended, because I realize how much work it takes to make a relationship work. A lot of people who have been in a relationship that ended, when you ask them, how do you feel? Sometimes the first thing is they say is, I feel like I failed. I feel like a failure. I feel like the whole world is looking at me like I couldn't even keep a home, or I couldn't even keep a man, or I couldn't even keep a woman, or I couldn't even keep a home for my children. So we bear so much burden because of, and I think a lot of it is actually, it's a projection, sort of. You are, first of all, assuming that's what people are looking at you as. Number two, you are also projecting how you would be looking at people that this happened to. And I want us to take a little look at that. The reason I don't think that marriage failed or that relationship fails, for several reasons, but two very important reasons. And I think Uncle Olu also echoed one of those reasons, and I'm going to share his comment after I talk about this. One of the reasons that we cannot say marriage fail, or that is because you go into a relationship without fully knowing who you are going into a relationship with. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you get into that relationship, you start finding out a little bit more about that person. So in that relationship, you know a little bit more. So you had everything you thought. In some cases, it's not all cases. Some of us go into relationships that we knew was not going to work. A lot of us, we knew. But some of us go into relationships that at the point we entered that relationship, and with the information we had, we thought we had everything we needed to make that relationship work. But we did not know the whole person. So as we get into that relationship, we find out more about that person. So now it becomes that, I didn't really have all I needed to make this relationship work. The bummer there is that, unfortunately, that person and you yourself don't even remain the same. So say you even got into the relationship and you found out that, okay, this person is a little different than what I thought. This is what it is. And you kind of work it, you rework it, like this renegotiation of dowry we want to do now. You now rework it and like, okay, I can handle this. I can handle that. The problem is you are constantly changing and your partner is constantly changing. So the terms of the agreement is constantly, the goalpost keeps getting moved. So when people keep renegotiating to where the goalpost is, keeps changing strategies, keep changing acceptance, commitment, what I will handle, my deal breakers, that is the work that goes into the relationship. And that is the success of that relationship for however much it lasted. That's why I don't think relationships fail. You worked hard at it for all those things. The person you go into a relationship with is not the person you stay in a relationship with, and you are not the same person that went into the relationship. So for these reasons, I want us to use compassionate terms. I just want to think about it when we are talking about other people's relationships. And if it ends, or even if it's ours, look at yourself with compassion, because the goalpost is constantly getting moved, and you have done a lot of self-work to make things work until the day that relationship ends. So you had a successful relationship, a successful marriage until it ended. And Uncle Olu said, that's why it's better to go to school, because you can see from his writing that he went to school. He said the truth is that marriage requires constant negotiation because we are constantly evolving.
Yeah.
changing.
So, compassion is needed. Let's stop the assumption and let's stop the projection when we say things like, our marriage failed. He couldn't even keep a wife. Let's stop the assumption and the projection. Thank you so much for joining us. Let me see what I have missed because I know a lot is going on in the chats. Thank you so much for being here. I am so grateful. And I just want to clap for our panel again, especially the person that didn't want to be here. Thank you so much for being here. It's obvious that people are getting richly blessed from this because the engagement is off the charts. We stopped here. P.I. says, Masha, she's sending you love from the north side. As an introvert, this must be tough for you, but you are taking one for the team. Sending love to Deacon Daniel and DTO. Great panel as usual. Auntie Fumi, what did I say that you called my name like this as if I passed out? Olayemi. I must have jabbered. Wally agrees that, yep, love is an action word and a doing word. Dr. Ifemi says, in relation to love and defining love and redefining it, love is not enough.
Yeah.
And Auntie Fumi is saying, I can't thank you enough. Why are you people thanking him as if I don't like that. I don't like that. Adago says, love without actions is meaningless. In fact, actions are better ways of expressing love. And PI says, word, if I say I do, I have to. Miss Ronke says, I realized true love when I started looking out for my partner more than usual. My commitment stepped up and I started to let go easily, letting go of all the little things that we would ordinarily just hound on and pounce on and all of that. What every couple's, Uncle Lulu says, what every couple starts off with is not really love. We think it is. Love is commitment, which grows over time. Please, I'm going to use that. Please, everybody sign a waiver because I'm going to use all these things and write a book because these are all such deep expressions. I love it. Yeah, very, very good. Love without action is meaningless. I read that already. Most marriages fail to continue and end because it wasn't even meant to be for one of the parties. The enthusiasm sometimes is one-sided and the burden is on one of the parties to keep the ball rolling. Ifemi echoes, the goalpost keeps getting moved. Sometimes it's a case of what you ordered to what you got. You are right, oh. You are right. You know those pictures that they will show the dress that you tell the tailor should sew and the one that they sew. Yeah. What you ordered or what you thought you ordered, and what you got. Commitment is what makes it work when the goalpost moves. I'm definitely writing a book with this cast. And please, I'm going to put all of our names under the book. I'm not going to take the accolades, but the money is going to come to me. Uncle Olu says, it is impossible to know everything about your spouse before you get married. Marriage is an ongoing process of learning who your spouse is, who is also evolving and adjusting expectations as needed. Uncle P says, understanding one another's priorities and connecting in ways that are important to both helps. My lover is here. Hi, lover. Happiness Sigumba says, love is where two people are ready to receive each other and communicate. Uncle Shina says, lots of endurance matters in a relationship, and it's only by His grace. May God help us.
Amen.
Pia, you think this is Mayor? This is not Mayor. This is my sister from London. The other Ronki, is that who you are calling Mayor? I think you're talking about Ronki Lawala Yeni. You are so on point today. I'm learning as much from the comments as from the panel. Yeah, the panel is on. Is like, I'm telling you. Yeah, that's why I say I'm writing a book. Okay, I wanted to put all those comments in one batch. Auntie Margaret is here. Hi, Auntie Margaret. Fawibe. Sometimes you really want to do, but things happen that prevent you from doing. May God help us. Actually, how about we go there for the next 28 minutes of this cast? I want to read that again. Let's go where God wants us to go. Sometimes you really want to do, but things happen that prevent you from doing. May God help us. I want us to talk a little bit about, and I titled this part, When Relational Success Ends. When relational success ends. I don't like to say this is what the average person will say when the marriage failed, when the relationship failed. When relational success ends. Let's talk about that as a family. And a lot of us, even if you're in a marriage that has not ended, and it will not end in Jesus' name, but say you are in a marriage that has not ended, you have been in a relationship that was important to you that ended. So you should have something to say about this. And sometimes they're not only marital relationships, sometimes they're friendships, sometimes they're sisterhoods. Sometimes they're, and we're going to have a cast in a few weeks about when church hurts. And sometimes it's really, it's like our religious gathering relationships, they end, So when this relation, when the success of this relationships, when it ends, can we all I just want us to throw out the words that we feel. And we're going to spend the next 1 minute just doing that. And I'm going to go through the panel and wait for the audience to just type in the chats. What do you feel? I'm gonna start. Let me start with Deacon Daniel. If you have 3 words, just say the 3 words. What do we feel when relational success ends?
That's deep. We at times you're just out of sorts. When relational success ends, we feel beaten. You feel at times you feel guilty. It's maybe it's me. We look inwards when relational. Let me just stop right there.
I love that. You feel out of sorts. You feel beaten. You feel guilty because you look inward. I love it. Daily Motion fam, please go ahead. I want us to get those words out because they're important to get out. Precious, when relational success ends, when it threatens to end, what are some of the words that we feel? Go ahead, Precious.
As long as we feel pain, we're still living. And as long as we make mistakes too, where it's letting us know that we're still human.
Ooh. Hello, Moroso. I like that.
He's living with you now. How would he not?
Oh my God! That's like poetry.
Soaps all drops off.
As long as much as we feel pain, we're still living, and as much as we feel mistaken, we're growing. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, we're still human.
Beautiful. We're still human. I love it.
And as long as we keep on trying, there's still hope. So I'll say we keep on moving on.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
Abikada show Shileni. That was beautiful, Precious. Thank you so much for that. Pain. We feel like we're mistaken. Whew. And almost, I think what that word I can get from that is hopeless. But remember that we're still living,
Hopeless. Yeah.
we're human, and there's still hope. I love it. DTO,
Yeah,
please share some
you
words
feel
with us.
you feel betrayed,
Betrayed,
broken,
broken.
Detroit.
bruised.
What was
So
that
you
word?
feel, I said betrayed,
Broken.
broken, bruised, like you are
Bruised,
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 yeah,
bruised.
emotionally, mentally,
Yes.
even sometimes physically, and in different way, even financially, depends on your commitment to the relationship. So you feel betrayed, you feel, I mean, yeah. So, but the truth is, if you allow yourself to receive healing, because dealings means you are healing. If you are dealing with
Dealing
issues,
means
you are
you're
healing. Just allow
healing.
it. Because the first thing that comes is we deny it. There is the denial that is this happening to me. So denial is like feeling numb, like it did not happen. It did not happen. So you still want to go back to the same people who hurt you. You still want to be with them. You still want to go back because you cannot face that reality. That is why you see a woman that left a man, or a man that somebody that leaves. You still want to call them. You still feel that they are coming back to help you to fill the faucet. You still want to call that person. That's why we keep on going back to the people who hurt us, because we don't want to be alone. We don't want to feel, we don't want to feel the emptiness. We think there's emptiness. We are trying to feel it. We are trying to fill the void. So the only people we go back to is the same people that hurt us.
I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to go and share from the audience. It is important that we get these words out, because we have felt that in a lot of ways throughout our lives and relationships, both romantic and non, that have that their successes have ended. But you can imagine that the people who are in relationships, especially romantic relationships that have ended, or like marriages that have ended, these words are living in them. As I say these words out, I want you to imagine these words living inside a human being, in their hearts, in their mind, in their heads. And at the end of it, it would give us an inkling about how much of a burden we are bearing. The first word, when relational success ends, the first word was, and DTO will join us back, don't worry about that. When relational success ends, the first word was by PI. She said, you feel less than. The next word after that was, when relational success ends, you feel self-doubt. Olatokumbo. Hi, Olatokumbo. How are you, darling? When relational success ends, you feel shattered. Aderonke says, when relational success ends, it drains our emotions. We feel broken. Happiness says, when relational success ends, we feel hurt. Uncle Olu says, when relational success ends, we feel defeated. Actually, I should be actually projecting this, because sometimes when you see it, it's more less than. Self-doubt. Out of sorts, beaten and guilty. Shattered. Broken. Hurt. Defeated. pain, mistaken, and hopeless. Lost, disappointed,
Mm.
betrayed, broken, and bruised. Ooh, this one, this one, this one. Little, little, little.
Mm.
Ah,
Little,
oof, that hurts.
tiny.
Even that word hurts. You feel down, and it's difficult to trust again. You feel betrayed, you have regrets, you feel saddened. This one hurts too. Empty, empty. You feel exhausted, overwhelmed. I like this. I like this. Bimbola says, and I'll read the full context of it. Some people feel relief after the demise of a relationship because of their experiences in that relationship or marriage. That is the truth. Exhausted, and PI echoed what Bimbo said, that relief, sometimes you feel relief. Omorewo says, alone.
Yeah.
This is big. Suicidal. Oh, JW says analyzed wrongly. So maybe judged. You feel judged. You feel judged.
Judged, misunderstood.
Misunderstood. Yes. Uncle Sheena says disconnected. Disconnected. Now, I wanted us to hear those words and I wanted us to see them because a lot of us have gone through this and a lot of us are going through it. Another word, inadequate. In my language,
Not enough.
yeah, in English, another one for that in English is not enough, like Dickin D said. In my language, there's this statement, it says, Wada bialai moshi. So
Yeah.
big. I wish there was a verbatim translation in English, but it's just strong. It's just strong in that language. Like you can't do anything right. Like any other accomplishments that you have had
That's the
becomes
word.
zero.
Yeah. True.
Zero.
Yeah. Ronki says depressed. Like a total failure. You feel mentally derailed. She said mental breakdown. Yeah. Ife echoes Alaimoshi. Incompetent. Yeah. Incompetent.
Incompetent.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. It's 12:16, and we're gonna get out of the cast at 12:30. So, I want us to, by God's grace, we will have another meeting, probably a private Zoom meeting, like we did last year in May. We did a Zoom meeting about, it was a mental health meeting. So I think in May we plan to have another private meeting, and I think it will have to do with this sort of thing. DTO also has, you have a program that is going to start, right, DTO? Can you talk briefly
Yes.
about that for us, please? Can you kindly talk briefly about that? So, it's like a recovery program, and she's going to share with us over the next 3 minutes about that program. Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity. So I have a Fresh Start Middles program called Divorce Recovery for those who have experienced divorce or disappointment. Because if you're in a relationship for like 7 years, 5 years, and you you are betrayed, it's still the same thing. Or even if you are still going through divorce, that program is a 12 weeks program. I believe so much is so much that we need up. Many times after 18 months, if you are still dealing with that issue of divorce, even after it has ended, you don't want to do anything anymore, you don't want to relate with anybody. I'm not talking about rushing into a new relationship, but even to get yourself back on your feet, sometimes you need help. You cannot do it alone, and that is why. So I went for my PhD. I studied on marital dysfunctionality, intimate partner violence, and all the rest. But this program is for recovery, for fresh start, for anyone who has gone through divorce. It's 12 weeks. So we have different things covering the emotions, the what you have gone through. So we have it's a group program, it's a group program for 12 weeks. We're talking about releasing the pain and the bitterness, because you may feel like people can tell you to move on. It's yeah, me showing it. Okay, forgiving the unforgivable. It covers building a new life. And when we say building a new life, we are not talking about rushing into another relationship. Okay, so many times somebody was talking to me about 2 weeks ago. They are yet to end the relationship. They're already planning for a new one. I'm not talking about that. Then the keys to starting over, then barriers to new relationships, finding new relationships, children and divorce, and also supporting your children and through divorce. So those are the kind of topics that is going to cover. We are going to have an intimate conversation. Is a body system, intimate conversation. And then we believe God for healings. We believe God for therapy and group therapy. It's a group coaching program. Anyway, I think Olayemi is doing. It's a group program for people who if you know anyone who have gone through divorce, if they don't want to invest in their life, you can invest for them. Let them come for it. And it's time for us to come out. What led to this topic was discussion we were having also, that in our community we shy away. We don't want to be labeled. I don't want to be labeled. I don't want them to call me divorcee. I don't want them to call me this and that. So we don't come out. But the truth of the matter is your story is out. It is better for you to get healing and turn your story around for his glory. So turn around, use your story, or else somebody else will package your story and they will use it against you. So it's better for you to package your story, get healed, get up, move on with your life. Move on with your life, get going. And as you are moving on with your life, you can repurpose that pain to profit. Amen.
Amen.
You can
Amen.
repurpose that pain to profit. How can you help somebody? And by doing that, you can also help somebody that are coming up. When I had my own issue, what I did is to start helping people who were single, people who are in marriage, people who are having divorce. I've prevented, by God's grace, a lot of people not having marital issues. So you repurpose your pain. Don't just nurse it. Get healed and repurpose your pain. Use your story to his glory.
Love it. Love it.
So it's
Thank you.
5 weeks. 5 weeks. If you are interested, it's starting in May. May 18th is the first meeting.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank
And
you so
also,
much.
we have other resources. We have other programs that we have in the academy that can help you. If you don't want to do 12 weeks, we have short programs and one-on-one anyway.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, and it's very important as we're gonna close when it's like 12:26. Antioe, I just want you to close with about 3 minutes of your. I know your testimony is great, and I'm not sure that it can be encapsulated in 3 minutes.
Okay, okay. I'll
But
try.
just as I'm talking, try to
Okay.
try to, and if you can type in the chat the link to FMS Fresh Meadow Start. I have the link somewhere. I might be able to work that out. Don't worry.
Okay.
I want to talk about getting help, and let me ask Precious and Brusty. I have, I'm very passionate about my community. I'm very passionate about my community, and I have a lot of conversations with people. Sometimes they'll say, "Ah, kini daily motion yi de da, madako expand so that not just the Nigerians, not just And I keep telling people that God sent me to my people and people of faith. When He's ready to send me elsewhere, He will take it there. It's not mine. This is not. If it was my assignment, I can decide whether I want to become a family practitioner or I want to become a surgeon. But it's not mine. The reason that I can understand that is that the other communities have this help and they use it. So you don't have to register for FMS. But you need to register for something. I will encourage you to register for FMS. Please. But if this is you getting your feet wet and you want to start where the people don't know me, sometimes people will say, I just want to go to somewhere where people don't know me, Until he said something, I'm sorry, our story is out there whether we like it or not. You are just thinking that nobody knows. It's a big lie. Big lie. So register for, and some of these things are also culturally steered, such that if I went somewhere else, they will not be able to understand mother-in-law or something, or that you have to kneel down before you. Some of it needs to be culturally steered. So that's why I say I'm doing Daily Motion for the people God sent me to. When He sends me elsewhere, I'll go elsewhere. I'll go wherever He sends me. While we're in relationships, we don't seek therapy or counseling. I have a biased thought, and I think Brother Daniel and Precious, you may be able to help me. It seems more like women at some point are more willing to go for therapy when things are not going well than men. Do you think that's a misconception? Can you just briefly talk about that? I'm going to start with Deacon Daniel. Do you think that's a misconception?
It is. Well, it depends on the person. I have spoken to a few friends if you have a few friends who are in therapy with their spouses, and we also do therapy. But I've also found some friends they resisted therapy. Some resisted therapy until the relationships failed. And afterwards we still said, we think you need therapy to get through this. And after going through that therapy, they felt that, wow, I wish I had done this while we were going through. Yeah, I wish I had done this while we were going through. So it's we also, you said in the context of our tradition or our ethnicity, we just need to keep encouraging it. Clergy needs to keep encouraging our people to get therapy, to talk about stuff. We don't usually have avenues, especially people from where we come from, to really talk about stuff. And we are being talked down to most of the time. And we are told, get it together. You are not the only one, So, and then you see everybody around you sharing testimonies of greatness and things working out, and you're struggling. You're going to think, definitely something is wrong with me. And we don't. So the atmosphere we set really doesn't want to encourage us men to talk. Because which man wants to talk, say out, I'm struggling now. Really, things are, things. And then it's also a manly thing too.
Ego.
We always want to put up a front that we got it. We got it. When we ain't get it. So,
you ain't gory. Thank you so much. Precious, do you think it's a misconception that men, mostly our culture, men don't want to seek therapy?
It's not a surprise to me because it's I could say it's what God has planted in man, and that's the ego that man takes to try to write on everything that is coming his way. So to me, I see that the men know, they know that it's the right thing to do, but that ego is stopping them because they feel like their wife is bringing them down. And men doesn't like to expose what maybe their failure or something
The
outside.
weaknesses.
Yeah, they want to keep it in the house, and they're not helping. They're not helping themselves. They're not helping their marriage. So
Yeah.
they need it.
True.
That's it. So some of these things, like they're innate, the way we are wired, and something very sensitive about, gbogbo aṣọ kọ́ là ń sá lórùn. That's how some of us were raised, meaning, you don't usually, like we in Nigeria, we didn't have, all of us didn't have a washing machine and dryer, so you would put your clothing on a line to let it hang, and the sun would beat it dry. And we were taught to put our underwear underneath a bigger piece of clothing. And that's just what that means. You don't just display your thongs and hang it on the peg. You would put it under another clothing, and you would, hopefully the sun will beat through the bigger clothing and dry your underwear, so you don't hang your dirty laundry, you don't air it outside. We were all raised with that. But the reason I asked that question was because of what Brother Daniel said. At the end of the day, when relational success threatens to end, all of the dirty laundry, the pants, the bra, the underskirt, the kaba, the gele, everything now comes out. Now we seek help from good people, bad people,
It's too late.
people who don't know. And at that point, it's a little late. Nothing's late for God. So, if you are going to seek that help later on, why not seek it during the relationship and during the successful stage of the relationship? Because it's not only marriages or relationships that are having problems that go to therapy. Relationships that are doing very well, you should still be seeing a therapist once a month to say we are doing well, low. We just came to report ourselves. We are okay this month. We have not fought. Nobody has thrown bottle. Yemi has not thrown any. She has not pulled out any knife this month yet. But it is still the 25th. That's that type of thing. So even good relationships need mentorship. Even good relationships need therapy, need counseling. And that therapy that your ego does not allow you to seek, whether as a man or a woman, you eventually seek when relational success is threatened. So let's seek it when it makes a bigger difference. We're going to have to stop now. I think, let me just get in the chats. We have, Miss Ronki was asking, how do I get involved in that healing program, please? This is a part of Hilltop Transformation Academy. The link is in the chat. Please make sure you grab that link, copy and paste it, or press on it, or come back to the chat after we're there. It will remain there directly to the recovery program itself. That link is also there, so it's there. It's like 3 different links. It's going to the same place. One posted by Hilltop, one posted by Daily Motion TV, another one posted by Oyinda Amola Okinla. Those are all authentic links. It will not take you to anything that will wipe out your computer memory. So please, if you need it, if somebody else that you know need it, get help from Hilltop. Get help somewhere. We all need help. In God's garden of grace, even broken trees bear fruit.
True.
And we are all broken. God will sometimes use your area of pain as your ministry. No matter what your relational history has been, you have been through these things. so that you can be of help to another.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
whether that be another one, another 1,000, another 1 million, that's up to God. But another. Let's share our stories discretionally and with this Holy Spirit discernment and get help when it can work. I've had the pleasure of serving God by communing with you today. And I just want to close with a testimony. We'll end at 12:35 about Auntie Onye. Auntie Onye has been through a divorce or a relationally ended, a successfully ended relationship. Shall I say so? Until you go ahead and just share your testimony with us, and then we'll close in prayer.
Okay. So quickly, like I told Olayemi, my case is even different. I won't say I had a divorce. I don't have any divorce. And I didn't have marriage. I had marriage, but there was no marriage. So my marriage was voided ab initio. As I got married, I found out that the person was married to someone. So, but I didn't know what to do. I didn't have any counsel, and I didn't tell anybody. So I still went along with the marriage. But the person capitalized on that there was no paper or former paper, went to marry while I was still in the marriage, went to marry someone else. But because of the church, because of my position, because of everything, and because I was ignorant, let me say that I didn't know what to do. So I stayed in that marriage. I wanted to beg the man, like, please let me just stay there to cover my shame, to cover everything. But eventually he left with the person he went to marry, and I had to move on with my life. That is just it. So I didn't know, but I knew God was speaking to me even while I was there, that you are in a relation, you are living with a man that is not your husband. Anyway, coming out of it, I realized my mistake, that it was my fault. It was my fault. Truly, it was my fault because I was not sent there. But I wanted to do it. And that's why we're talking about, why do we get into marriage? Many times we get into marriage because of our motives. I want to marry someone who is not a pastor, who can feel into my purpose, who can fit into my purpose, so that somebody will not tell me you cannot do what God has called you to do. So the man fits into that. I didn't know him. 9 days to marry, to wedding. That was when I met him. I couldn't go back because I was a Christian. In the marriage, I was a Christian, or in the relationship, I was a Christian. I wanted to maintain it, I wanted to stay in, but the other person didn't want to stay in. It's a lot of stories that I've learned from, and that is why I went into counseling, to understand life, human behavior, and all the rest. And today, I'm able to help other people. And God told me there is a purpose in the pain. There is a purpose in the pain. There's a purpose in the pain. The same comfort we have received, the same comfort out unto others. And that is why God has helped me. And I thank God for a lot of counsel, a lot of people that are surrounding me. One of them is Didi. Didi will say, Oyi, you have a story, package it. Oyi, you have a story, package it. So I'm able to package my story. I'm able to help young ones. I'm able to help singles, individuals. And that is why, instead of me talking to individuals over and over, I decided to put it in a package, and so that it can serve more people, rather than just few people that call me in the middle of the night. I'll come to my house, I go to their house, so you can receive help. And also premarital, because most of the times the mistake comes from premarital. I'm not talking of going for premarital classes when you are already signed up, when you already signed the registry date, you already sent the invitation out. Please, we go to business school, we go to all kind of school, go to a premarital school, learn something, and also learn about yourself. Who are you? Yes, we evolve over the years, but we look for the significant other when we have not find our significant self. So first, discover who you are, discover your significant self, so that you can know who you allow into your life. We allow rubbish, we allow nonsense, we allow people who have no journey to our destination. So please discover yourself so that you know who you can allow into your life. What are your values? What are your passions? Who are you? Do you know you? So
Beautiful.
that's my story, but I
Thank
thank
you.
God it turned out well because God has used it to glorify himself and to help other. So I wish that I know some things, but I didn't know. So ignorance is a killer.
Thank you. Thank you so
Ignorance.
much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. DM fam, you have been more than fantastic today. And I do want us to close in submission and in surrender to God. And thank you for sharing thank you for your vulnerability. One thing I want us to do with all those words that we have written, typed, thought about, some of them we even thought about and we're not brave enough to write. I want us to surrender them to God. I want you to leave it in this chat. How about leave it? Ask God right now just for the grace to, when those words recur in your thoughts, or if you have friends, do the same for them, ask them actually, because sometimes, when this kind of things happen to people around us, we don't even know how to approach it. We don't know how to, we just want to, we don't know what to say. Everybody always says, I don't know what to say. There's something called the ministry of presence. When you don't have to say anything. People make fun of me sometimes. Precious is always walking on eggs around the house. Because sometimes I'm on the phone for hours and I'm not talking with different people. No words. I'm just on the phone. It's the ministry of presence. You don't always have to have something to say when things are not going well in your friends, your sister's relationship, or when people die or something like that. I don't know what to say. The ministry of presence, very important, So you can ask people, how are you feeling? And let them surrender those words. You can't make people not feel them because they come up. It's normal for us as human beings. We feel the same thing, but every time just say, I'm surrendering this defeat to you, God. I'm surrendering this disappointment to you. I'm surrendering this suicidality to you today, God. I'm surrendering this feeling of loneliness. I'm surrendering this emptiness. I'm surrendering this feeling of alaimoshe, incompetence to you. Just surrender them to God. And know that in God there's healing. And when we do private Zoom, and as you register for one program, be it FMS or any other program that you decide to register for, as you go through that recovery, know that the healing comes from God.
Yeah.
God the Father. And I just pray that as you surrender these words, that no matter what we are going through relationally, with parents, with friends, with spouses, with our jobs, some of us we feel the same way at our working places. Little. Just know that there's grace that's available for you to be able to still sing, no matter what your story is, to be able to still praise God, no matter what your story is. All these words you can never feel in front of your Father. You cannot feel little in front of God. He's never disappointed in you. He will never betray you. He will never leave you alone. He will never forsake you. He made you with your weaknesses and your frailty. He will never blame you. He took all of your guilt and your shame. You will never feel ashamed in front of him. You always have God to feel whole with. So this is my story. This is my song. I'm praising my Savior all the day long. This is my story. This is my song. I'm praising my Savior all the day long. Father, may my forever song be, as my relationships travel through time and the changes that I experience with my partners, my friends, my sisters, may my song always be that I can always praise you and that I can always stand whole before you. Because no matter how broken I feel, in your garden of grace, even broken trees bear fruit. May I remain fruitful in life and in the praise of your holy name all the days of my life. I pray this for myself. I pray this for anyone who will encounter this cast. I pray this for everyone that has joined their voices with ours. I pray this for our panelists. I pray this for our children who do not even know yet that they need this prayer. I thank you. We give you all the praise for all that you have done with us and through us. Continue to have your way and the final say in our lives. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.
Amen.
God bless you, DM fam. I want to say thank you to this panelist of less than, now we are over, I think we are now over 1 hour, 1 day old. This 1 day old panel that I just want to thank you. Please, come on, thank them, emoji them, clap them, do everything that you can.
Thank you.
We want to thank you so much for being here, for your voice, your knowledge, your wisdom, your essence. And I pray that God will continue to use you for his glory. DM fam, we're out. We'll be back. I will update you about our timing. We will be back at some point because this timing, I'm liking it. I'm liking this timing. All right, we're going to close out in just music and just celebrate because we are rejoicing. We have been relieved of our pain, our hopelessness. So dance. Come on. Dicky. Hey, the champ is on the mic. Have a wonderful day, guys.
But I know the
Enjoy the weather.
Though tears are overflowing, yet
My faith remains.
in hope I'm pressing onward.
No matter what I face,
I rise.
His Spirit lifts me up.
All the way, Lord, I pray, help me say
Every day that I wake, I will praise you.
Every breath that I take,
Lord, I will praise you. Move forward. Be dancing.
Daily motion.
Oh yeah. And on me low.